Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Greetings,
Welcome,
everyone.
welcome. Come on into the space. We are here for day number 3, y'all. Madly in love with me. We are here. I am your host, Chantel Sierra Tisha Kim, here with my beautiful sister,
Lady Unk, aka the spiritual soul sage. Ashe. Ashe. And we apologize. Yesterday got away from us, so we did not get to tap in for day 2 of the challenge, which was our mirror challenge. And that challenge is still continuing for me. Let's recap a little bit before we go into today's challenge. Let's recap that mirror magic challenge. How was it for you, sis? I know you had a really wonderful start to your day. So tell us a little bit about day 2 and recap what that mirror challenge did for you yesterday.
So, yeah, the day 2 mirror challenge was to look into the mirror for 2 minutes, y'all. 2 minutes can be a very long time, but I set the clock on my phone and I just began to affirm myself, speaking those things that I wished that I heard more often, speaking about how beautiful I was, what I loved about myself, how I loved how I showed up for myself, how I loved how I am being able to do this challenge, just letting it come up off the riff, just letting it come, whatever came out. And the end of it all said, I am enough. I am enough. And that was the powerful takeaway that I took into my day, and knowing that, no matter how we affirm ourselves, the bottom line is to know that you are enough. You are enough just the way you are. So I took that away and I took that into my day, and I really just kind of pondered on that as I went about, not looking for anything to show up any kind of way other than just knowing that what I was doing in that moment was enough. What I was thinking about in that moment, it's enough. What I had planned to do and didn't get to do, I was still enough. So that was how it was for me. What about you? I know yours was pretty intense too.
Yes. As this challenge often is, I am one of those people who are so easily pour into others, pouring into myself always seems to present somewhat of a challenge for me. And so getting into the mirror for those 2 minutes was really eye-opening. It just revealed to me how much of my self-care practice I had let go of, or I had not been diligent to really respect. I am one of those women who I love to dress up. I love to doll up. And I'm noticing, when I was in the mirror doing the mirror challenge, the first thing that I noticed was honestly feeling like I had let myself go. Feeling like I had not been doing the things that I need to do for me. I started looking at all the things that I'm like, my eyebrows ain't done, my skin ain't as clear as it normally be, my locks need to be retwisted. Then I got to thinking like, oh, is it time to let the locks go? Which is something that's been circulating in my mind for a while. So it really gave me a chance to sit with where I was within myself and how I felt about the reflection staring back at me in the mirror. And so it was an eye-opening moment for me. Thus, I'm sitting here, y'all, today, and your girl about to go out with the family after this call. So I said, let me spruce myself up. So during this call, I will be doing some makeup. So
just be madly in love with me, right? This is our time. This is our time. And today is day number 3. So in day number 3, we were challenged to think of 5 core values that you value when it comes to life and love, and then ponder on those 5 values and circle the one that you want to focus on for this month. So when I did that, I actually have posted in Facebook, on my Facebook page, and shared it as well, a list of like 260 values, because the first thing I was like, what is a value really? And wanting to be clear about it, and wanting to just be able to make a good decision based on knowing what a value is. Something that you hold near and dear to your heart is what I immediately thought of. But I was like, so what is it that I hold near and dear to my heart when I think about life and love, right? And loving me in whatever form that looks like. But our questions were to pick those 5 values. So my top 5 values in love and life were truth, acceptance, optimism, fun, and spirituality. Those were kind of tied, because I think spiritual things are fun to me. And then harmony. So when I think about how I show up with myself in those areas, those are the most important things. And then I also like, okay, how does that transcribe or what's the word?
Translate.
Yes. How does that translate in relationships with others? So I said the most important thing out of those 5 for me this month is to go into that space of acceptance. So accepting everything. And it immediately brought back the serenity prayer, as we talked about being in that place of surrender on day 1, right? What are we surrendering the control of how it should happen, right? So I said, that acceptance that everything is perfect, going back to the optimism, everything is perfect just the way it is. And then I began to say that serenity prayer. I accept the things I cannot change. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. And that was big, because I am stepping into this new space, and it does take courage. It does take courage to step into loving on myself like never before, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's going back into our heart space. What does it really feel like to be loved? How do I really want to be loved? How do I really show up to love myself? And what wisdom am I bringing into that situation? So this month is all about acceptance, right? Accepting all the things that I can change, and changing it with courage and wisdom. What about you, sis?
Woo! You said a mouthful right there, and so much of that I echo. Right, there's out of these 200 and I think it was 230 words. I honestly probably 220 of them. I'm like, yeah, I need all of these. I need pretty much all of these. But the ones that stood out the most, and I'll read them to you, was consistency. I oftentimes feel or have felt, and I know that this feeling that I carry normally goes with things from childhood, but consistency is something that is a value that is at the top of what I need. Loyalty. I like loyal people. I feel like I'm a loyal person. It's one of the values that I love most about myself. And so it's one of the qualities and values that I look for in others, especially when it comes to love life. Another one was respect. I need someone who respects me. I'm into some crazy things sometimes, so somebody who didn't respect me would just not work. Respect is absolute. Another one is truth. I expect the truth, and I believe respect comes with truth. And I battled with that one, because I was thinking like, oh, trust. And then truth, like which one do I pick? If I had to weigh out the two, would I want trust or would I want truth? And I think with truth, trust comes naturally.
Let me ring the bell on
So,
that one, because that's where we both came into that one, that
mhm,
truth, because the
mhm.
truth is what in fact sets us free. I would rather someone be truthful to me than to try and play against people pleasing or saying what they think I want to hear, because you don't know. Truth is what is solid. Truth
That's
matters.
true. Yes. And the last one I kind of battled back and forth because most of me wanted to say strength, right? I wanted to say strength. But what I ended up realizing is that your strength comes from your purpose, right? When you
Mm.
know what you want to do, when you know what you're here for, you tend to find strength where it ain't none. You pulling it out of thin air sometimes because you have a goal, you have purpose. And so purpose was one of the ones that I really settled with, not settled, but one of the ones I rested on comfortably because of the fact that I think that when you have purpose, so much aligns with that as well. And so these words, these values that you put within today's challenge really got me a chance to really dig deeper within each one of them. I was like, wait a minute, okay, let me look at this for a minute. Because I mean, you had like humility on there. There were so many words. It's like, oh, wait, this is a good one too.
This
Wait
is
a minute.
important too. Right. There was lots of them that were very
Mhm.
important. But as which one did you decide on? Which one was your circle word? Where it says circle one that you will work on this month. Which one
Consistency.
was that?
Consistency.
Consistency. Consistency.
Consistency.
Okay.
We
Okay.
we
We want
know that
people.
that out of all of these, I think consistency is the one that I am challenged with the most. I think as a mother, I utilize the children, the family as an excuse to be not consistent or to fall
Mm,
complacent at times. And so consistency is the one that I'm working on most in this present moment is honestly, being consistent to being loyal to me, to doing what I
right.
need to do for me.
Right. I would like to ask our audience, we have some of y'all in the
Hey
room.
y'all.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. What core value do you find in your relationships? We would love to shout out what you are thinking your core value would be when you think of love and um, life. What are your core values? Welcome, welcome in.
Welcome in. Y'all don't pay no attention to me. Look, just loving on myself.
Just loving up, being madly in love with her.
Just being madly in
So
love with me.
there's a lot of ways that we can look at how this madly in love with us challenge is going to move us forward, right? And that's
Mhm.
the ultimate goal of this. This has been really about me and Sherry taking some time to say what's most important, in this time as we're going into, understanding who we are. Black History Month is the month of February.
Mhm.
It's also the Valentine's Day, energy in the month of February. And oftentimes, some of us as women may feel like we are being, left behind if we don't have a love or a significant other. So, what better way than to find out how you can love on yourself? Because ultimately, that's what's going to attract to us that divine spouse, that divine mate that will support us, and being clear about our values, being clear about how we take notice of the things that we love about ourselves, and maybe even the things that we don't love about ourselves, right? Taking notice of those, because sometimes as the truth bomb of today spoke on, that
Okay,
was
say it.
power. That truth bomb of today basically was a jab in my throat, in my gut. I'm going to read that out. We didn't post that today, but the truth bomb for today. I'm gonna look it up for y'all and share it again. It said, oh wow, where is it? We should have put that on the screen too, sis. Let me
I was
see.
trying to look for it to download it, but WhatsApp won't open when I'm in StreamYard.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, here it is. It says that the version of you that they loved was your
Ooh.
suppressed self. Think
Oh
about
my
that,
goodness.
y'all. When we come into these toxic love relationships, or the place where we were when we first fell in love, it could have been our suppressed self. I often look at my past relationships
Mhm.
and even how I've grown. I was suppressing myself a lot. I didn't even know what part of me I wanted to, which part of me was the true me, right? Because I had
Mhm.
been in a space of caring for others so long, making sure people were okay, people pleasing. So my real truth and my essence had been suppressed. So it says the version of you that they loved was your suppressed self. Stop
Mm.
grieving relationships you outgrew in your healing. They weren't loyal to you, they were loyal to your wounds. Oh,
Mm, mm, mm,
I have
mm.
to shake the bell on
Listen.
that one, y'all. That one hit me because it's like, oh, how often as women do we find ourselves in relationships that maybe we are outgrowing? Not to say that our love for that individual is changing, because the love is still there, right? But it
Mhm.
may cause conflict because you're not that same person that they met. And if they're not growing with you, if they're not open to the expansion or the change that you are making, it can continue to reopen those wounds. And that doesn't feel good.
And
So how do you maneuver or navigate in that space? That's being clear about your values first and foremost. What would
yes,
you say, sis?
it's so a lot of times we are searching for love, right? We're searching for all of these things, and we haven't yet figured out really what it is that we want, what it is that we like, what it is that we truly desire. We haven't had enough experiences to figure that out, or we've had experiences, but we haven't taken enough time with self to figure out, okay, this past relationship, I didn't like when he did this, so I'm gonna notice those flags. I'm gonna notice this thing. And what I'm finding is that really, we have to really change the way that we look at things and the way that we honor ourselves in our relationships, because it's so easy to lose yourself. I got into a relationship after 5 years of being a sabbatical, being celibate. So 5 years of being celibate, and then I meet who is my now husband, king, fiance, however you want to call it, right? Um, and I didn't appreciate that time that I was by myself. And so I know during this time of the year, a lot of people get really down and out because they feel like, oh, my love life isn't where I'm supposed to be. And this is the time where you really can appreciate yourself. I can't remember if it was Paul. I really want to believe that it was Paul in the Bible, but he was in prison, and he said that he appreciated the time of solitude and being alone because it allowed him to be closer to the Most High. And
Mhm.
so this is a time where we're supposed to figure out ourselves, but we don't give ourselves enough of that alone time to even figure it out, to even figure out what our core values are. We just know we're supposed to look for somebody who want to provide, protect, whatever. And we're not even looking towards those things that really are going to be the maker or the breakers of the relationship. And fortifying that within us first, providing that for us first, not
Ashe.
secondary, not looking for it outside of ourselves, really figuring out what those things are that we want and desire, and then providing them to ourselves so that we can we can attract a like frequency caliber of person that will come in and match our energy. The person you with match your swag. And if you don't
That
like
part.
the person you with,
And
then you might need to shift your swag.
you might need to change up some things, right? I know one of those big time I don't know what is a spokesperson's or man's. I think he transitioned, bless his soul, but he would talk about bringing women on, saying you want a multi-million-dollar man, but you ain't a multi-million-dollar woman. You know, you want to attract a man that is going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but you're not even doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So this is where we also begin to attract what we are, you know, and sometimes we get the opportunity to begin to grow, but that doesn't mean that who we attracted is willing to grow. So it's like understanding, can you accept your space and accept your growth and still love on the person that you are with? Or is it time for a change? Because you do get to choose as well. You don't have to stay in places where you're not comfortable, where you're not being affirmed, where you're not being validated, where your true values are not being supported and upheld. But first you got to get to it. So I'm just very thankful for, you know, having relationships that allow us to grow, because that also is a part of it. So when we're in love, when we're in relationships, those challenges come up. How are you growing? How are you learning from them? How are you really learning more about yourself and not projecting onto that other person? If he was this and he was that. No, sis.
No, if you were. Look.
Come back to you, right?
And you know what?
You change.
I'm so glad that you said relationships, because this is about relationships in general, all of the relationships around you. And you need those relationships that help support and fortify your growth. You and I were talking about that earlier. You know, you need those friendships, family members that help pull you, push you, get you to that next level, get you out of your comfort zone, remind you who you are. And so now is the time for us to be unapologetic about putting those people in our spaces, making sure those people that are in our spaces that provide them are acknowledged and are welcome to continue to do the pushing, to do the pulling, to do the shifting and the making the way for you. And, you know, I want to challenge a lot of women, because I see a lot of things on social media that sometimes just rub me the wrong way about what we truly value as far as relationships are concerned. The values are placed on some of the wrong things, and are not things that will withstand the test of time. You know, I have a friend who's always like, "Oh, I just cannot date a man who isn't handsome or doesn't look a certain way," and you know, it made me think in my head how limiting that is. If you have to be so stuck on that aspect, you may be missing tons of great opportunities that are coming your way because you're putting value on something of little to no value. Really doesn't have enough value to stand up, because that could be taken away in the blink of an eye.
But the fact that attraction does matter does come in. But you can't be looking for the cream of the crop, but you can look for the cream of the crop, but understand that sometimes the looks can be deceiving. Let me say that. You can't just go by the looks, okay? I would second that. You can't just go by, oh, this man is fine, but he's ugly in the inside.
And he's providing you no substance.
Look, I'm looking for a man with a beard. Okay, sis. What if the man that is for you don't got a beard? Is this a no win? You know, he has everything else but the beard. Are you gonna not even give him the time of day? But it's also about just knowing really what it is that are beyond the physical attractions that really you desire, and beginning to really cultivate those core values within yourself first and foremost, because ultimately, like you said, sis, looks can change. You ain't gonna be all so fine for all your life, or maybe you will. Who knows? I've
We can
seen
look.
how
We can hope. We can
we can
hope.
hope, right? We can hope, but it's that love that surpasses the visual eye, you know, and understanding that love that lasts will surpass the visual eye. But you do want some type of attraction. For me personally, I'm attracted to a man who can hold a good conversation. I can work with you if you can keep me entertained in what is it
Mental
called?
space.
What is it called? A
A
sapiosexual?
sapiosexual. I definitely feel those vibes because for me, true attraction comes with the mental stimulation for me. I know other people are a lot different, but true attraction for me comes with mental stimulation. When you hear a man talk and he's speaking with a certain rebuttal, it's like powerful. Do you remember when we were at the Man Heal Thyself Ascension the year that we ascended, and they did they affirmations, I affirm and confirm, and it was this one guy. I promise
The
you,
whole arena was like, whoa.
it was this one dude, especially because he was heavy set. I remember him being a heavy set guy. He probably was in his mid 40s, and he seemed a little nerdy, right? But he got up there and said, "I am one part neutron, electron, some." I was like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute."
Look, when you know who you are, huh?
Because when you know who you are, you speak in that language. I was like, "Who's?" I mean, he wasn't to the visual eye and to societal standards. He may have not been many women's cup of tea, but I promised you, by the end of that man speaking, every woman was like, "Whoa!" He didn't took our breath away.
Like, who are
and so
you?
I think life works like that. We have to leave ourselves open for the possibility of something shaking us to our core and allowing us to see value in things beyond the mundane, things beyond the norm of what we're used to. And I feel like a lot of women are missing out on love because they've allowed society to diminish what love should look like in our community. Oh, this is the sign that a man is capable of loving you. I remember I had a friend and her husband didn't work at the time, and they've since divorced, but he didn't work at the time. But they had 5 kids. He stayed home with the kids. He made sure they ate. He did like all the Mr. Mom things. And people in the family and the community around her would diminish him so much. And I remember telling her, you need to speak up for him and you need to speak up for that because he is providing help, support. And she was the type of woman who didn't really want to stay at home with the kids all day. No way. So it was a perfect balance for them. But outside influences got into the mental space of both of them. Him demeaning him, making him feel less than. So now he's checking out. Her feeling like she's supporting him. So now she's checking out. And ultimately they got a divorce. But it was so sad to me because it was working for them. But they allowed what society says as how a man or a woman is supposed to show up or how love is supposed to look within the relationship to place value or devalue what they both were bringing to that relationship. And so this is where I love these conversations when we're especially talking about values, because it's time for us to start to understand that our values are based on us. We put the amount on what means more,
right?
What makes more sense, especially according to our lives. And it can't be dictated by society at large.
No, and this is why us as women, this is what we're talking about. We're bringing these things to the surface so that we each can really take time to ponder that. Like, what is it that you truly value in life and love? You know, love is also a value, you know, love in and of itself. But is that love demonstrated in what way, right? How does that really make a difference to you as you show up, you know, beyond the what society says, because we are a part of society, but we all get to live it in society in our own unique ways. So I want to encourage us that as we are going through these ebbs and flows of being madly in love with ourselves, that we take time to look at the values, look at what love means. Because ultimately, as Tina Turner said, what's love got to do with it, right? What does love got to do with it? Because at the end of the day, love can look multiple ways, right? It can look like, as someone said, worldly love and agape love. Which love is it? And then you got romantic love, and then you got brotherly love or sisterly love. I mean, love is broken up in all kinds of ways. And it first starts with you. It first starts with you.
Self-love is the foundational love. And that's one of the things that I love, about the spiritual work and the spiritual journey, because it really invites you to look at yourself on a whole nother level and to love another aspect of yourself. And so even when I'm going through the challenging times, like now, where I'm trying to pull myself out of this rut that I seem to have found myself in, and I'm trying to, and I don't even want to say it's a rut. What I'm going through, honestly, in every sense of the word, is an ascension. I'm feeling an ascension happening.
What is that called? You're in the
cocoon.
Not the cocoon, the chrysalis, yes. In the chrysalis stage.
Exactly.
Where it's like, I don't even know what I look like right now.
And so that's really what it is, because I'm like, I don't even know what this next version of me gonna look like. Like, something is happening. Some things are breaking down inside this cocoon that I've built around myself, within my community, and within all of the support that I have for all of you. Thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in. And something is happening, and this transformation that I'm undergoing is really inviting me to really understand that the forefront of everything that I do in life starts with me. Starts with how I show up for me. So it starts with how I value me. And if I'm saying that consistency is one of the things that I value in love and in a life partner, then I'm my first life partner. I have to be consistent. If I'm saying that loyalty is something that I love and value in a life partner, then I have to be loyal to me. That means being loyal to me means that even though my heart want to serve in certain spaces, I might have to step back and step away, because it's not serving me. I'm not being loyal to me by going back on what I need to be doing for me. And that is it's such a beautiful place. Like, honestly, I'm finding myself these days have been, kind of challenging, just confronting where I am. And I know that there's some other sisters that's out there like me, that's like, oh, I feel so bad. Like, I was doing so good with my business, was doing so good at work, I was doing so good with the kids, I was doing so good at church, I was doing so good in each and every different place. And then now you're at a spot where it feels like, oh, what's going on? That's because it's time for you. It's time for you to care for you. It's time for you to take care of you. It's time for you to love on you. And that is okay. That is
and we have a comment. We have a comment in the comments from our beautiful sister Sandra Sierra, girl, Sunshine. I don't want to butcher your name, honey. But she says, unfortunately, most do not know what love is. So I would say to first find out what love is, and what does love mean to you personally. That's where she says
That's a great.
And then she said,
I'm so glad that you said that.
She said, because we have different love languages, and love is a whole concept. All of its own. What's your love language? What's your partner's love language? What's your love language for your friends? and so on and so forth. And she said, love is a frequency of 528 hertz. We gonna ring that in.
Come
If
on,
you
come on.
ain't
Where the
got
ball?
love and you need to be recharged, listen to your 528 hertz music. That is a perfect way to realign the heart chakra and to realign your frequency to love so that you can begin to love on yourself. Another thing that I would like to add in this space is definitely do your assignments. It's not too late to join. Day one was writing the love letter to yourself. I know sis says she wrote her love letter and sent it in the mail because she wants that love to circulate in the atmosphere and then come back. And then do your 2-minute mirror work, looking at yourself, affirming, seeing what's there, seeing what feelings come up, seeing what happens. I was very thankful that when I looked, I was like going in, you this, you that, in a high vibration. But those of y'all who know me, I stay there. But sometimes I am in that low vibration or that lower level of really, what am I really doing? Because sometimes I'm there too, just as often. But it's just like learning to balance. And then now coming into our values. What is the values, the 5 main values that you embody, you would like to embody when it comes to love and life? And it's not only in romantic relationships, but how do you show up in loving yourself? How does that look? And how do you want it to look? How do you want it to be reflected back to you? Because that's what you need to work on. So sis says she's going to work on consistency. I'm going to work on acceptance because for so long, it's been very difficult for me to accept myself. I've been hiding. I've been hiding because I don't want to seem crazy. Cray. Because a lot of people in my world may not understand, but I'm so thankful for, this platform and my sisters and understanding that I get to navigate the extremes. I get to navigate this spiritual world and also the practical world. And I am learning to accept the things I cannot change. And that's just being me. That's just being real. So I'm super duper duper thankful for that. I'm thankful for each and every one of y'all who showed up and who are joining us on this journey. On the flip end of it, we are sending this challenge into the byways and the highways. Please invite your sisters to join in. We are asking that you do the challenges each day. Hashtag madly in love with me.
Yes.
And for those who complete the challenge, if we see you being consistent, 28 days, of all 28 days, we have a love package for you. We're going to give away 2 of them. One for two for each woman who joins the challenge and does as many as you can. And we see you. So please, 28 days, go in, take your pictures, do your hashtags, madly in love with me. If you know sisters who would love to join in, please join in. On the 13th of February, we are going to do something really unique and special, doing an overnight. It's not like a Galentine's, but I guess it's like a Galentine's, but it's a Madly in Love with Me night where we're going to do one on the East Coast, one on our coast in Atlanta and LA. We're going to come together as sisters. We're going to love on each other. We're going to meditate. We're going to really hone in on who it is we are so that we can move forward to receive the love that we would like to receive. So this is your call to come in, tap in. There, we will post the link in our under these pages so that if you want to join, you can RSVP. These are some free events that you don't want to miss.
Don't want to miss.
Anything, Chris?
No, I just want to thank you all for tuning in, tapping in with us throughout this journey and taking a ride along with us. We are very unorthodox in the way that we present our messages because we allow spirit to, to take heed. I know sometimes things are a distraction, so I apologize if me putting on the makeup was a distraction, but this was me really just being madly in love with me and being consistent and doing what I said I was going to do. So I said I was dolling it up for my little family day. So I'm putting my blue mascara on now. Anybody who know me knows that I am addicted.
Look, come through. And then we have another comment. It says, and that's it. Look, and that's okay. I don't remember what that was about, because they can be so, honey, let me see what he said. She said, and that's okay because they can be on high without a low. And now without a high is learning to integrate and respect what you're in. Your lows, just like you respect your highs. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
so when I was saying I be in between, but yeah, it is part of loving yourself to be able to respect your lows and your highs, because we are not perfect. We are perfectly imperfect. Okay. And that's something to celebrate as well. And one thing for sure is we have to acknowledge our emotions, sis. You have to acknowledge your emotions. You have to acknowledge when you are low. You have to be in it. Go into it. Feel all the feels of the low.
Feel the feels. Feel the feels.
And allow them to be able to move through you. You know, you don't want to get stuck. You don't want to get stagnant, but you do want to move and ebb and flow, because that's what we're doing. We are growing, glowing, and flowing.
Flow.
That was our motto last year, and we're bringing it on full circle. So yes, this is our time. This is our place. We're celebrating being madly in love with us. We have so many things going on in the backgrounds of our lives that sometimes we have to be intentional to show up. You know, show up for yourself like you would show up for someone else. Oops.
There we go. There we go. Okay, y'all heard it here first. Show up for you, honey. Show up for you.
Show up for you.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. And I know we got to go, but I just want to reiterate, this challenge is for 28 days, 28-day Madly in Love with Me challenge. You can follow us on all social platforms at thegoodvibeslounge.com. You can also goodvibesloungellc.com. If you want to take a look at any of our retreats or any of the things that we have to offer, you can see where you're streaming this and share it. Share this, share. The best way to support that doesn't cost you anything is to just share our video. Please like and comment whatever platform you're watching us on. And if you're joining this challenge, hashtag Madly in Love with Me challenge every single time you post, so that we know that you are in tune with us, you're following us, and we will be announcing our very final, actually we'll announce March 1st so that we can give everybody a chance.
But we said we're going to give them that extra week into March, the 7th day of March, to get all the days.
Okay, we're going to go to Women's Wellness Day. So we're going to Women's Wellness Day. You know, that's Women's Wellness. Okay, so we're going to go all the way to Women's Wellness Day, and we will announce on Women's Wellness Day who receives that gift. So join us. There's nothing you have to do special besides following us, like and commenting. Every time you like, you comment, you share, and you hashtag Madly in Love with Me challenge, we are taking inventory and note. And so the more you like, share, and push this information, and the more that you engage with us and in doing the work, might get you a little gift, girl.
And you're going to like it. You're going to love it, actually, because it's going to help fortify you. It's going to help support you in your Madly in Love with You work. And yeah, please, if you haven't already, go over to Circle of Sisters Table Talks. Circle of Sister Table Talks podcast on YouTube,
where we can put that link in there.
And also subscribe, because we will be going live on YouTube, on our Instagram, on our Facebook pages, but we are really trying to build the following on this Circle of Sister podcast. So until next time,
you know what? Ooh, I just thought of one thing. Until we get to 50 subscribers, okay? So everyone from now, we're at like what? How many are we on?
25.
Like about 30?
We're halfway there. We 25.
We're halfway there. Okay. So everyone who subscribes will get an additional entry. So we'll give you a two. How we want to do 2 additional entries. So subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe so you can get an additional entry into the challenge. So you'll get a bonus into. We'll actually do one just for our subscribers. So one of those gifts will go to the subscribers. So right now we got 25. Come on,
Yes. And that's a perfect way to do it. So even on this chat in our lives, if you go under in the comments and say, I subscribed, we would love it. And we will see you there and be able to identify you as one of those who subscribed during this challenge. And yes, Madly in Love with Me is the hashtag that you will use as you post the challenges that we're doing, and just show a picture of what you're doing. Show a picture of your mirror for the mirror challenge. Show a picture of you writing a letter. Show a picture of your 5 values and circle the one that you're working on. Just make it engaging. We want this to be an engaging experience, and throughout the time you will be able to receive the benefit. So until next time, we are your soul sisters, speaking out
and fixing crowns
in the process. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.
I'm gonna post a video of the finished look, y'all.
Okay. We want to see it.